welcome back. This week we're looking into Samuel 19. And hold on, let's review from what we covered last week. So we have this typical, normal young guy from a typical Jewish family, and he goes from being just a shepherd to the future king of Israel in a heartbeat. Now along the way he takes out Goliath, saved King Saul's bacon, and he does that continually. But is Saul happy about it? No siree, bub. He's jealous and he's afraid David's about to steal his job away. So let's look at 1 Samuel chapter 19, verse 1. So let's set the scene. Saul the king was pretty ticked off at David, our main man. In fact, he was so angry that he wanted to kill David. Can you believe it? But wait, now hold on again. Jonathan, Saul's son, and David, well, they became fast friends. They really liked and respected each other. It was a rock-solid friendship based on mutual respect for one another. Well, now Jonathan, he hatched a plan to save old Dave's life. Now, Jonathan warned David about his dear old dad and his murderous intentions and told him to go into hiding. And get this, Jonathan even offered to talk to his pop, set him straight on David's innocence. Now Jonathan, well, he's no pushover. He stood up to Saul and started singing David's praises. He reminded dear old dad that David had risked his life to take down Goliath. And remember that big victory that they all celebrated against the Philistines. Yeah, now David, he was the hero behind that. Why in the world would Saul want to kill the stand-up dude for no reason? Jonathan's persuasive words must have struck a chord because Saul changed his tune real quick. And once Saul had cooled his jets, he vowed he wouldn't hurt Dave. So our man Johnny, well, he couldn't wait to share the great news. So he told Dave about the entire conversation with his pop. And he brought him back with him to hang out with Saul, like they were pals. But guess what? Trouble just couldn't seem to leave Dave alone. War broke out again, and David fought like a boss against the Philistines, giving them a major smackdown. But here's where things get a little creepy. Remember, Saul had this evil spirit thing going on. Now picture him sitting at home all moody and brooding with a spear in his hand. Now meanwhile, David, he's just trying to keep the vibes and chilling. He picks up his trusty lyre and he starts strumming a tune. Suddenly Saul goes into full tilt crazy, tries to pin David to the wall with his spear. Thankfully, David must have some kind of mad ninja skills, and he manages to dodge the spear as it slams into the wall. A little too close for comfort. Now David saw his chance, and he made a run for it. Now can you blame the guy? I mean, living with someone who's constantly trying to impale you, that's pretty much sucks big time. So now picture this, 1 Samuel 19, verse 11, and it tells us whole Saul, well, he's up to no good. He decides to send his men to keep an eye on David's crib with a plan to kill him in the morning. But oh boy, was he in for a surprise. You see, David's quick-witted wife, Michal, she gives him a heads up and warns him to hit the road, Jack, if he wants to save his own skin. So get this, she lowers him down through a window. Yeah, great move. Now here's where things get really interesting. Michal comes up with a cunning plan. She grabs an idol and plops it in the bed and covers it up with a garment. And to add some authenticity, she tosses a little bit of goat's hair at the head of this idol. Crafty little woman. Now when Saul's lackeys come knocking, Michal plays all innocent. She tells him that David is under the weather. They should come back a little bit later. Now, not falling for it, Saul, well, he insists that they bring David in his bed if they have to. And he's expecting to finish him off once and for all. Well, there's that idol. They're staking out. Now, you can imagine Saul's surprise when he turns to Michal, demanding an explanation. Why did you trick me? You let my enemy slip away. Now, Michal, well, she responds, well, David threatened to kill me if I didn't help him escape. What was I supposed to do? Now, meanwhile, our buddy Dave, well, he seeks refuge with Samuel in Ramah. Now, he's spilling the beans on everything that Saul has been doing to him. So the two of them, well, they go on to Naioth. Now, word gets back to Saul that David is in Naioth. So he sends his men to nab him. But guess what? The Spirit of God shows up and it starts making everyone prophecy, including Saul's men. Saul gets wind of the whole prophesying spectacle, and he sends another group of men, second group prophesying as well. Now Saul sends a third wave. They start prophesying, and things start getting interesting. So finally, Saul himself, he decides he's going to go look into this, see what the fuss is all about, and he heads to Naioth. You won't believe it. Once he gets there, the Spirit of God comes upon him too, and he starts strutting around prophesying like there's no tomorrow. And he prophesies right in front of Samuel. So I'm guessing, well, God could have given this whole crew insight to recognize David as God's anointed king. But here's the deal. The good book really doesn't explain it. Which suggests to me that, well, these details just aren't important to this story. So what do you make of all this? What in the world is all this prophesying about, right? Well, let me throw something at you. See, God is deeply invested in finding you, just like he was with Saul. Because it doesn't matter what you've done or what you're chasing after in life. The thing you believe in, then you will bring happiness to you and satisfaction. Choosing anything other than God's path, well, that's like signing up a one-way ticket to death, my friends. Yeah, I know it sounds pretty intense, but hear me out. Whenever you go down the road of sin and ignore the call of God, well, we're just setting ourselves up for some serious consequences. Yeah, take Saul, for example. He's finding himself on the outs with his own daughter, Michal, and his son, Jonathan. And hey, not to mention that he's even threatened their lives. Yikes. But here's the thing. God is like a relentless seeker, endlessly pursuing you and me. No matter what mess you've made or what you think you deserve, God's right there, ready to help you, to turn things around. You just got to choose him, plain and simple. Now, Saul and his men were given insight, all that prophesying stuff. And they could have used that to get right with God. So the next time you're on YouTube pondering this message, remember, when you chase after anything other than Jesus, well, you're only heading towards doom. But hey, with Jesus by your side, well, there's hope for a better, fulfilling life. And that, my friends, wraps up this week's tale of Saul, David, and their encounters with the Spirit of God. So now next week, we'll explore 1 Samuel 20. The hunt for David continues. Saul falls deeper into sin and takes a shot at Jonathan as well. You're not going to want to miss out on that. So I'll be here next Wednesday. Hey, you be here too. Deal? Deal. Oh, and did I mention the like and the subscribe button? Heck, throw in a share as well. Now, until next week, may God bless you and touch your heart.